You're listening to In Time Sessions with Nathaniel Bawden on Islington Radio.
Natalie Shay.
Hey.
In the building.
Woo!
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
That's all right. Welcome to In Time Sessions with myself, Nathaniel Bawden, on Islington Radio.
Yes.
I have to say these things.
It's good.
Obviously. So yeah, welcome. Really do appreciate you coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing Dad, Rodney, as well. It's nice to have an escort.
Well remembered.
You know, I thought,
Rodney.
who's that guy behind the door? I thought I was going to get beaten up. But yeah, there you go. It's wonderful to have you. So why don't we just jump straight into it? So I've written down some questions.
Okay.
So you are doing well.
Hey.
No pun
Yes,
intended.
I'm
For
doing
those who
well.
haven't listened, please do listen to Doing Well. It's very, very good. Very catchy.
Thanks.
Very positive.
Oh, thanks.
You know, is that a reflection of your character?
I
would you
think
say?
so,
Yeah?
especially in the last few years. I think
Okay.
it's easier to be positive and support people when you're happy in yourself. And I couldn't do that before.
Mm.
I was happy in myself because
Yeah.
I was like jealous of everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've changed now.
Okay. It's funny, isn't it, jealousy? Because it's quite a poisonous thing and it doesn't go away. No. It's sort of using it, isn't it, as a reminder of what is possible. Being inspired, maybe, rather than sort of staying a bit bitter.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. I notice it in people. Some people are good at it and some people are not. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. You just have to work around it or use it to
You
your
do.
advantage, right?
Exactly.
This is true. I'm glad you agree. So why songwriting in particular? Why not
Why?
something else?
Oh God, I've just always done it. I started all of this when I was like 10, so
Oh, right.
I've never really not done it. And like, I don't know when I would have found something else. I've just always done music. And
Okay.
I started gigging when I was 13.
Yeah.
Started posting my originals on YouTube when I was 11. So
Right.
I've never not done
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
How did it come about then? Was it just happy accident, or was it something before you got into? You were like, I want to try this, or
So I've been playing classical guitar since I was 5.
oh wow,
So I started doing that when I was 5, and I started doing musical theatre at the same time.
right,
And so I always sung and I always played guitar, never at the same time. Then I
Right.
saw Taylor Swift, and when I was like 10,
see.
11, I was like, wow, she writes songs about
she's
herself.
She's a bit of me, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like she wasn't that much older than me at this point.
Uh-huh.
So, and she'd written a lot of these songs when she was like 15, 16. So I was like, okay, so we're close in age. We're doing this thing. I play this instrument. And I think for my 11th birthday, I got an acoustic guitar.
Right.
And then I taught myself chords.
Mm.
And then I was like, well, I'm going to write songs then. And then here we are.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So that's an inspiration for you then, Taylor Swift.
Yes, Taylor Swift.
Okay. Anyone else?
Not as much as her.
Okay.
I have people that inspire like the project and inspire where I've gone with it, but in terms of like inspiring my life purpose, she's probably
Okay.
the only one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you sort of see a reflection a little bit there.
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
it's interesting to see how many sort of artists like now that say that she's their
Yeah.
inspiration. I think that she has. When people don't like her, I just think you're an idiot for not liking. Do you not realise that this is like
Yeah.
the woman that has carried singing and guitar over to this new generation and
Yeah.
has like made real music
Yeah.
what's it, inverted commas,
It's authentic, isn't it?
authentic music, and
Yeah.
has brought that over to a generation where there's not much guitars and there's not much
Yeah.
songwriting from the soul. There's not much people writing songs on their own,
No.
and she's literally brought that over and carried on guitar singing and music. And I think people that don't like Taylor Swift for whatever reason, like, do you not realise the impact?
Yeah.
A lot of the artists you probably do listen to have only started because of her.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't like that.
No, I agree. And I think a test of a very decent musician, let's say, whatever genre or style, is where they continue for decades.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she's obviously still very young and early stages,
Yes.
if you like. But, you know, I remember listening to her 10 plus years ago
Mhm.
myself, and she's still there now, isn't
Yeah.
she? Sometimes people come and go, have their
Exactly.
little moment, and then that's it. But she's still
Exactly, and
But
she's
yeah.
aged with her music. She's not like
Yeah.
tried to like be 30 years old writing for like 20-year-olds. Like she's
Yeah,
writing
being authentic.
authentic her whole time.
Yeah. So going back to that sort of authenticity, I mean, look, I listened to a couple of your songs, not all of them, not everything.
That's
I'll
okay.
be honest. just a couple, just to get a feel of what you're, let's say, up to. And like I said earlier, you know, very positive, very energetic. I love the storytelling
Thanks.
element as well.
Mhm.
All very catchy. You're straight into the song as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, how do you go about writing songs?
Oh.
Is there like a conscious effort of like, I'm going to do it like this?
There's
Or is
kind
it-
of two ways in which I write a song,
Okay.
either in a session or on my own. Like it's kind of, so if it's in a session, they kind of get set up by either your team or you set them up, and they're like put on a specific day, and you might not feel like writing a song that day, but you have to because that's what's planned.
Yeah, yeah.
And you go into the room and you're like, okay, we'll write a song. Let's try and find some common ground
So
that
the
we all.
session will be with other
Yeah,
musicians.
So it's mostly it's me and another writer producer,
Okay.
but sometimes it's me, another writer producer, and another writer. So it's for me personally, I've done max 3. I've never done more than 3.
Okay.
But it's always planned, and you go into the room and it's like, okay, so today we have to write a song. Let's find something that we all care about. We'll write a song about that. And yeah, and they're kind of, I don't know, 70% of them I never listen to again.
Yeah, yeah.
30% I listen to, and then maybe 2% come out. Like I do probably like 3 sessions a week, like a lot.
Right,
so
that's quite a lot.
there's a lot of songs being written, and then the other way is just on my own on the guitar at my house. And yes, they're the kind of 2.
So why don't you listen back to the co-writing?
If I just think they're not as good as the other ones, I just don't listen to them again.
They don't do it for you?
They don't do it for me.
Is that because other people have written them with you, or is that just...
Sometimes it doesn't hit. Like, I've written songs with people that are like some of my best songs, and then we've tried to write more as good as that, and we've written like 4 not as good as that. Like, you don't really know. It depends on the day. You don't know what you're going to come out with. It's great. It's very exciting when you get a banger and you know kind of early in the day, and it makes the day very exciting.
Yeah. You know straight away you've got something. Do you is it when you're, let's say you come up with that hook or that lick or something, is that just on the guitar, or is that like is that a melody you hum, you sing first, or?
Yeah, usually sung.
Yeah,
usually sung.
Comes to
I'm not really a guitar riff person.
Okay,
that's more like a thing that I add later when I have the song.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you get the melody first.
Yes,
and then you put the guitar to it.
Exactly.
Right. Weirdest place you've come up with one of those hooks, one of those lines,
weirdest
those
place.
melodies.
I wrote my first single, This Feeling. I wrote that in a car. So I think that might be the weirdest place.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
That's pretty
Just in the back of the car.
Yeah, where are we going?
Home.
Home.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I got home and then I tried it out and I was like, this is good.
Yeah. It's nice, isn't it? It's always, I don't know, some people don't understand it with writing songs, but people think that it's, I mean, going back to your co-writing thing, I find that very hard to force it out or say, right, we're going to do this on this day. It's like, but, you know, what if it's, I say, not as good? What's the thing, you know, when you've got that sort of happenstance thing that comes out of you when you're not trying, when you sat in the car or when you're doing the washing up or, you know, you're just on a walk or a stroll or something like that. They seem, I feel, to have more feeling, and they're a bit more authentic, a bit more genuine, tend to have a bit more of an impact.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's mad, isn't it? So what I would say is, as well, is, you know, I've noticed in particular with those couple of songs I listen to, I love the use of the pre-chorus that you have. There's like a suspense that gets kind of built up, and then the chorus comes in. It's like, come on, give me the chorus. It's really great stuff. It really is. Honestly is. I mean, how did you come to this sort of format, let's say, of jumping straight in and then the pre-chorus, or, you know, I mean, is it just me because I've only listened to 2 songs? I mean, are they all
Which 2 did you listen to?
I'll tell you, I listened to Doing Well and Figure of 8. So I thought one's obviously very positive, inspiring, and the other's obviously a bit more of a personal, sort of sad
They're
story.
all kind of, all my songs kind of have the same structure.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's just what people do.
Yeah.
So
that's what you do.
Yeah, it's fine. It works. Yeah. Sometimes I change the structure, but very rarely. I don't know. Yeah, I like a good pre-chorus.
Yeah.
I think it's very important.
Yeah.
To have that. You set up the chorus.
Yeah.
So
really nice. Yeah, it's really cool. I think people shy away, or other songwriters sort of shy away from it a little bit. Mainly, I think, actually, probably because they tend to have a massive long intro. The verses are too long.
Yes.
And then, like, now it's time for a chorus. It's like, as you've done and as you've proven, right? It's just get straight into the song.
You want to get to the chorus within the first minute.
Yeah.
If you don't, then
people don't know.
It's fine, but it might not be a single for the radio.
Yeah. And I mean, how do you feel about lengths of songs as well?
So when I used to write songs, they'd always be like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Like the first ones I did, I was like, it doesn't matter. But whereas now, like, I guess I'm writing more for a reason. I'm trying to do the pop thing. I'm trying to do Radio 1. So it's like, I know what I'm doing.
You've
so
understood.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
But if I'm not doing Radio 1 one day, perhaps I'll stop trying to make everything 3 minutes.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
Do you, because I've done the same thing. I think a lot of songwriters do that, especially when you first start writing songs is that it does something for you, because it's sort of I don't know about you, for me it's like a self-therapeutic kind of validation thing, right? So it's like, well, why not let this go on for a bit longer, because I'm enjoying it.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, these songs are for you, right? You know, you write them for you and help you to kind of square the world and get better, feel better, etc., right? So I did the same thing, where I realised that, you know, I'm writing these songs for me, and people, they've got it. They get the point. They're like, it's 6 minutes long, mate. You know, if someone spoke at you for 6 minutes, you'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Just, okay, calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
So how do you find that balance of, look, I'm writing this for me at the end of the day, but I'm also aware that I need to trim the fat. How do you feel about that? Was it a challenge for you to say, right, I now need to cut it from 6 minutes to 3?
I think my ego was bigger before. And I think now I'm always like, oh, I don't want to bother people for too long. Like, I'm aware of like never overplaying my set. I'd rather underplay. And like, I'm always like, oh, like they don't need. Whereas back then I was like, oh, I deserve to be listened to all of the time. So I think it's a change in my ego. I think when you're 13 and you're the only singer-songwriter in your school and everybody knows that, and you're like the celebrity of your school. So I'm like, well, here we go. Everyone needs to listen to me all the time. Whereas now I'm in a pool of everybody doing the same thing. So I realised like I'm not special after all. So I think it's an ego thing. I think I'm just like now more on earth.
Thing.
Yes.
It makes sense. I think when you're a teenager, it's very, and in school as well, it's a small environment, isn't it?
Of course.
And you go out into the bigger world.
There's a Taylor Swift song called "You're on Your Own, Kid," and there's a lyric in there where she's put something just to learn that my dreams aren't rare, and I was like, yeah, that's what it is. You learn that, like, you think growing up that, oh, I'm special, like I'm the next Taylor Swift, and then you go out and you're like, oh, every school has their own Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's right.
And now you just need to try and break through all of those. So
How do you? I mean, that's the next question I have to ask off the back of that is, being, let's say, the next Taylor Swift. How do you, obviously you're inspired by her, and that's, where you would, let's say, like to follow. How would you differentiate yourself? Because, you can only, if you follow her exactly, you can only ever be the second best Taylor Swift, right?
Of course.
So how do you say, right, I'm not going to do that?
Yes.
How do you do that?
I think being British is one. I think there's
a unique selling point.
I think that's my selling point. Being British. I don't really know. I just kind of like everything she's done. And I think just her attitude. I think the path she's taken doesn't exist now. Even the path that I started releasing pre-Spotify, so different path. It doesn't exist.
It changes.
What I started doing doesn't exist, and like this is a different industry than I thought I was in. Like, this is cool, completely different. So I think you can't really follow somebody that was pre-Spotify, pre-TikTok anyway, because now everything's just different. But I think I just want to follow her sort of, I don't know, attitude to it.
Understand.
Yes, and her consistency and just always doing things.
Well, I mean, look, if you knew how,
then I would have done it. Well, her dad, I think, helped a little bit at the start, and I think perhaps if my dad was a lawyer that bought the record label, perhaps I could have also been Taylor Swift.
Come on, Rodney. Step up,
Come on, Rodney. Buy the record label.
Let's do it.
Come on,
make your Rodney Records.
Rodney Records.
Something like that. Well, look, let's go. I want to go a bit more into like a song in particular. So let's look at Figure of Eight. I don't know if you agree, but I got country vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Inspired by country music?
I do like country music. I learnt to the Taylor Swift Fearless album, so like that was where I started. Like I do like her stuff afterwards, but like ultimately Fearless and the first album were my favourite country pop. And I was like I would have said I was a country fan for a long time. I listened to a lot of country, I think, because it's just good songwriting. It's just nice songs, and so much music now is just not nice songs. It's not like people don't just write a nice song. Like I just want a nice. It doesn't need to be deep. Just a nice song about like kissing your girl. Like I just want a nice little melody and some nice guitars. Like, and I feel like it's really not much of that anymore.
No, it's true.
Yes.
I think people try to over-explain or make out that or what they're going through is unique, and actually it's not. It's not at all.
No.
Others have been through what you've been through, especially something like a breakup, right? So not that diminishes how you feel, but I think in terms of, let's say, making a song or a product, it's like the more simple you make it, the more people are going to get it. Therefore, the more successful perhaps it will, and the easier it will come across as well. Mm-hmm. How do you find, let's say, painting the picture of a song, and getting the story across, but not being too specific so that others don't get it?
Okay.
Yeah, you see what I'm trying to say?
Yes. I try and do that. When I'm in a session, I'm generally trying to write for a single, in which case I try and keep it broad. I'll only mention gender if I really think it needs to. Okay. I try not to. If I'm writing about a friend, I try and not make it friend specific unless I want it to be a friend song. Otherwise, I'm like, no, keep it broad so it can. Yeah. I do think about that, but when I'm writing on my own, I'm writing for me. And I'm writing to be vain and for everyone to be like, oh, this is her. This is what she thinks and this is about me. So but I'm either writing for myself or writing for radio, I guess.
Yeah, I've got you. It is a balance, I find. Because if you go too specific or too far down a rabbit hole, you think, or maybe you feel that others are not going to get it, but then you don't want to be too vague, because people think, well, what are you talking about?
Yes, I think I've written some songs that I think like I've tried to write them as singles, but they're quite not deep, but they're like a bit wordy. Yeah. And then like my team haven't understood why I like these songs. They're like, oh, there are lots of words, but I'm like, yeah, but this is the one where people learn about me. Because if I don't write these songs, then I'm just this girl that's writing all these sort of vague pop songs. But like I like a few that are a bit deep, but I feel like my team who are always looking for the single, they don't always get why I get excited by the ones with lots of words.
Yeah. Because for you, it's a craft, and you're like, I work really hard to trim the fat on this, shorten it, make it sound a certain way. I work really hard to reword it, swap that word over that word and find another meaning and put that in. And they're like, what are you doing?
Yes.
And I'm like, no, this is great. And they're like, I'm not getting it.
They're like, oh, it's just got a lot of words. I'm like, yeah, but if you listen to the words, you learn lots about me. So
you're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It goes back to what we said earlier about playing for others, but also playing for yourself. Yeah, it is tough. But yeah, Figure of Eight's great. It's a great song. Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope that you're over that now.
Yes, well, it was actually about my friend's ex-fiancé. It wasn't about me at all.
Right, there you go then.
Yeah, it was about her.
That's one way to... That's a good friend. You're a good friend.
I try to write... Well, I don't have much happen to me much, so I try and just always look for anything to write about.
I've got you.
Yeah.
You sit back and observe.
Yes.
And I'm just going to write
oh, you've had trauma? Okay. I will capitalise on this.
Tell me about this. This is great stuff. It's great stuff for me. Fantastic. Well done.
Exactly.
No, that's nice of you. Write a song about a friend like that. I hope it made him or her feel better.
I think she liked it.
That's good. What are you wanting to achieve? What would be the sort of like, if I can do this and after I've done it and I drop dead, I'd be happy?
Oh my god, this changes all the time because I always reach these goals and they don't do it for me. So
really?
yeah, like Radio 1 was a goal and then I got it. I was like, okay, well that was fun, but what's next? I think I need to support Little Comets because they're my favourite band.
Yeah.
So I need to support Little Comets and then I can retire. I always say that I think that's quite a realistic goal. Yeah. And I'd probably like to play Shepherd's Bush, Empire. Wow. I just think that would not necessarily a headline. I'd be quite happy with the support. Same with the O2. Be quite happy with the support. I know a lot of people that have supported at the O2. So again, I think it's within reach. So yeah, I try and have realistic ones. Obviously, I've got my unrealistic ones, but I think keeping them realistic, then you can actually reach them, and then you won't always feel hollow. No. So yeah.
Yeah. No, all very achievable. Absolutely, you're very talented, and I think you can definitely do that.
Oh, thanks.
Don't need me to say that, obviously.
Thank
you. What do you struggle with?
What do I struggle with?
Yeah.
Myself. Yeah, I think I'm quite complex. I think I have a lot of time to think, and I do think a lot. And I think I don't know. I don't really struggle with myself, but I think that is my biggest problem. It's just how I feel like I've done a lot, and a lot of stuff has happened to me, and I've done a lot of random things, and I think I've not quite worked through them all yet or figured out like what impact they've all had on me, and they sort of keep cropping up in places and I've not dealt with them, so yeah, I'm getting there.
I got it.
Yes,
that makes sense. I mean, in terms of these micro successes, maybe you call them that, I don't know, but so you're saying it's hard to stop and appreciate them, is it?
Yeah, well that's what Doing Well was about, because I wanted to write a song about like remembering to take in the journey, and it's not about this end goal, because what is the end goal? There isn't one. It's about this bit now is the fun bit, and like enjoying every step of this journey to wherever it goes. I don't really know, but like I used to always be like, cool, what's next, and not feeling good because I but I was doing amazing stuff. I just wasn't enjoying it because I was too focused on the next thing. Yeah. So now I do that. Yeah. Yes.
It's tough to take a step back and observe and appreciate how far and give yourself a kind of pat on the back. And it sounds a bit sort of,
I think it's a weird one with music because it's like I can be at the situation. There's people that will think I've done incredibly well and will be quite excited to talk to me, and then there's normal people that aren't in music that will think I've done nothing. Yeah. So it's like, to some people I've done a lot, to some people I've done nothing. Yeah. And I think that's a really weird situation to be in because it's not a consistent sort of status.
So then it goes back to, well, some people have their goals and others have, their idea of what they think a goal is, or in comparison to what let's say you're trying to do. So some people have some ideas, some have no idea.
Yes.
So I guess it goes back to just your goals then, isn't it, really?
Yes.
You have to then go, okay, well, they don't know what they're talking about. They kind of have a bit of an idea.
I guess people think that either you're like Taylor Swift level or you're not a musician, and I think a lot of people think that. Yes. Yeah. And I think I get very annoyed when I meet someone that they're like, oh, what? So you're aspiring? I'm not aspiring. I've been doing it 12 years. Like, definitely I have aspired by now. Yeah, that kind of thing. And like, oh, what if it doesn't work out? Well, I'm like, well, it's full time. So to me, it's worked out. Like, just little comments like that. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah. So how do you deal with the naysayers?
How do you
go, see you later, mate?
I guess I don't know. It's probably a case by case thing, but a lot of the time they might not be a person that's had a venture that they've chased, and I kind of just go, that's just the ignorance of someone that's never had a venture. Yeah. So I don't need to let that get to me because that's all it is. But if it's someone that's done their own thing, I think it's probably just them projecting an insecurity a lot of the time. I think because I think it's easier to just big people up, rather than make little comments to make them feel small. I think just genuinely be like, that's amazing to everything. That's what I do. I think you need to. Yeah.
It's interesting because you're clearly very much in your element, in your the way you want to be, what you want to be doing. And it goes back to what we said earlier, about jealousy and envy. And naturally people will just hate being reminded of what's possible by someone else.
Oh my God, I've lost like my two best friends in the last 2 years, I think, for this reason.
They weren't your best friends then, right?
They weren't, and it took me a while because I thought I was the problem. I was like, 2 in a year, I must be the problem. But the only thing that actually happened that year was like, I got nicer and my career did better. Like I can't, nothing, But as soon as stuff started working out for me, is that my phone?
No, don't worry.
As soon as stuff started working out, when I thought, oh, it's so exciting, we're going on this journey, then the friendships broke down. But I've spent like 2 years trying to figure out the fact that it's not actually my fault. Yeah. It's not me. But it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, of course.
Because I thought that they would like come along.
You picture certain people in your life at that moment going with you all the way.
Yes.
And being there forever.
100%.
And when that doesn't happen and it's out of your control, and there's no one to blame or anything like that either, it's still sad, but it's life.
Yes.
And you attract what you advertise, right?
Oh, I know. I've really that's the whole big growth of the year, is me figuring out this whole friend thing. Yeah, I
can be your new best friend.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep leaving. I don't know what's wrong with me.
You know where I am. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, good.
Yeah, bless you. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. But yeah, it's as the saying goes, one door closes, another opens, etc., etc. So
I like, no offense to them, but every time one of them left, everything got like massively better.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, loads of stuff got better.
It is weird. It is weird.
Yes.
Do you find that? Do you find that when that happens, when you recognise you've stepped up per se, or you've gone into a different area, do you find that it's more lonely, or do you find that you then have found, let's say, you found your people again, or?
I've got a very close group of friends. Okay. I've always had a best friend as well, but I've got a very close group, and I think I've got a nice group, so I never felt lonely because we were just it's like a support thing. We're all sort of doing a thing. They're all kind of actors and stuff, and we've just got stuff going.
So you're with people in a similar kind of mindset.
Yes, I've got my support group, which is nice.
Good.
And I feel like not it's lonely, but I do recognise the space as stuff moves forward, but then I hope to bring everybody around me with me. I don't want to sort of feel like, oh, I'm moving on beyond you. Like, I don't get any pleasure from that. It's not about that. It's not about that at all.
Yeah, you're not discarding them.
No, I want people to like come with. Like, and I think some people like to win and defeat and squish, but I don't. I want everybody to come.
Yeah, that's a testament of what you're doing, which is you're spending the time and energy and effort building your thing.
Mm-hmm.
And some people spend their time and energy and effort trying to take down other people's thing.
When they could just build their own thing.
Yeah, when they could just crack on. And
they could just like
be
nice.
Work on their own little thing and don't worry about other people. But and look, I think the wonderful thing about with what you've been doing and what you've achieved so far is it's proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
And not that we're trying to help the naysayers, for example. That's not our job to help them. Everyone needs to just help themselves to a degree. But in theory, they should be able to look at it and go, do you know what? I can be inspired by this.
Yes.
I can take something from this.
100%. Yeah.
But they won't do that.
No, maybe eventually. I think I changed. I used to be a bit of a naysayer. No, I changed.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I actually changed.
It's natural to be a bit more doubtful.
Yeah,
because it's safe.
Before stuff worked out, I was really negative. Yeah. And then it did, and I was like, so now I can just uplift everyone then. Yeah. So I think there's a chance for all, but they just have to keep trying.
Yeah, it's tough because it's you, and then off the back of that, that it's up to them to do something still.
Yes.
And all you can do is just assist them to a degree, but you now know that you have to still feed your world, keep yourself on top, and keep going, and don't get drawn back into that world again.
Yes,
it's tough.
It is.
I guess the next thing to sort of think about is, we can stay on the topic of friends.
Anything.
Whatever you wish.
I'm up for anything.
Do you? You said you've written a song, Figure 8, about a friend.
Yes.
When you do that, is it primarily to say, look, I'm helping you to feel better, here's a song I've written about you, for you, I'm here for you? Are you that sort of person, or is it just you were in the periphery and you were like, I quite like in a way where what's happened, I can use this?
It's a bit both. That one in particular, I think, wasn't necessarily for them. I think I just... so that happened at the same time that I fell out with one of my friends because she got into a relationship like that.
Oh, right.
And I think I was just kind of very into toxic relationships and trauma bonds and coercive control, and I got into a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole looking into how dangerous a relationship can be and how they can ruin your life and how you can lose your friends. And I think I was just generally on that, but I've written songs for people to help them before as well, because I want them to feel heard. But this one in particular was just because I was into that whole thing at the time. Yeah.
Do you, with trauma, do you find that songwriting helps you with that?
Oh my God, yeah. It's all I write about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only write about trauma. Yeah.
It's an interesting topic, isn't it? I think. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna ask you this sort of question, but I'm gonna sort of say why it works for me.
Okay.
So for me, it's a case of I wasn't allowed to use any other method of an outlet of emotion or expression or whatever, but I could do songwriting.
Okay.
All right, that was what was allowed.
Okay.
Growing up, right. As I've gotten older, I didn't realise why I was doing it. Let's say, but I realised it was very much me. Of some people have like a diary, or they have a friend to talk to, or they have their family. Or I didn't have that. This was my thing for me to look inwards and go, let's try and fix this. Completely unaware of that until probably about eight years ago, something like that, where I kind of put it together and had this light bulb moment. Do you have something like that?
Yes.
Is it like that for you?
It is a bit like that. I don't think I think it's more that now than it was before. Okay. I think before it was because I was too shy to tell anyone anything. But I thought if I put it in a song and sing the song, then everyone will know about me. And I won't really explain the song. I'll just play it. So I think for a long time it was me trying to tell people that I had thoughts because I was too shy to tell them my thoughts. Whereas now it's more, it's definitely a trauma expression. I think if you can turn a negative into a song, then it's kind of cancels out and it becomes a sort of, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have this brilliant song. So that's much better than that thing happening. So it's not a bad thing anymore.
It's such a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
This horrible thing or things have happened to you or your immediate family or whatever. You then write this song to feel better.
Yeah.
And the byproduct is that you now have this
thing
that then others listen to.
So I literally I fell out with my friend 2 years ago, year and a half, wrote a song about it. That came out January last year. Right. That was the first radio one. That was took off. That one took off. And then I was just like, well, every time I've sort of felt sad and regretted like falling out or could I have done more, I've just thought, yeah, but like if we didn't fall out, wouldn't have the song, and then I wouldn't have had anything that happened in the last year, and I wouldn't have had any of the singles that came after it, and I like. So it really like had to happen actually, because so much happened from that song. So
something positive comes out of a very negative
thing. And also what a great way to win the argument.
Of course. Radio 1
she didn't have a song.
All nations listen to it and believes it as well. So
exactly.
I feel that way about Adele and all her albums and ex-husbands and boyfriends, and I just think I'd never take it. I'd never risk it.
No.
You're not coming back from that
you're not gonna win.
Whole album of you being a horrible human being, and you're like
exactly. And then everybody just listens to that side of it.
It's not that your aim was to I'm going to write a song and it's going to be on Radio 1 and take revenge. No, it's just you were like, I'm going to process.
I'm going to do what I do best from this thing, and watch me get positives from it, because that's what I do best, is try and do positives.
Massive testament.
Yes.
Really, really amazing. Yeah. It's going back to what you said about being shy and then singing. Did you find that it's almost like a sort of safety blanket, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you're like, I know that I need to be vulnerable to be loved and accepted. Okay. But I also know that if I am vulnerable, I'm open to getting hurt or used or exploited. Okay. So if I do it under my terms, which is on a stage, and you're down there, and I'm up here, I'm going to give you a little bit, and then I can disappear off stage, and you can't get me, but I've given you a little bit of me, and you've given me a little bit of love, so we're good. I don't know about you, but I found that I've done that, because that's me. I'm like, that's me. I then go into the crowd, and they want to talk about the song, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
I don't like talking, really.
No.
Yeah.
I did it there. You heard the song. It's about.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you about I've done that.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, it's definitely a thing.
Same for you.
Yeah. I couldn't talk in front of a crowd until maybe a year and a half ago. I really, really, really couldn't. I really struggled with that.
But you could sing.
Could sing and perform, all confidence.
Yeah.
But like 15 years old, 14 years old, I couldn't go into a shop and ask for a coffee.
Right.
If somebody asked me a question, I'd get my dad to answer for me. I couldn't even speak. Like, I was so shy. But like, I was doing a full singing song and dance. But then the song would end, and I'd be like, "Thank you. This next song is good." Like, and then I'd be like back into the. It's just that I could hide. I think with me. Mm-hmm. I think when I know I'm good at something or I do something well, I'm very confident.
Yeah.
I wasn't confident in what I had to say. I think I always thought no one cares what I have to say when I'm speaking. Like, I'm good at singing, I'm good at writing. I know I'm good at that. People want to come and see that. They don't want to come and hear me talk. Whereas in like the last year, I now do a lot of sort of professional speaking, and I've sort of acknowledged now that what I have to say, people seem to like. So now I have confidence in what I have to say, so I can say it. And I think it's just that for me. It's just like I need to know that what I'm doing is good, or I have no confidence in it, because I don't want to be one of those people that I don't know. I just think I feel such secondhand embarrassment for somebody when they are on stage talking and what they're saying is so silly or stupid or it's killing the song, and I'm like, oh shush, like
get on with the song. I'm
so aware of that, and I don't want to be that, and I've always been very aware of not being that. Like I don't want to look like an idiot. Like
No, amazing. I would continue talking to you for the rest of the afternoon.
Okay.
But I think we'll have to leave it there. Natalie Shay, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. This has been lovely.
We'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
We'll do something again, because obviously we started down a rabbit hole and it was there. So we'll have to do another catch up.
We'll do another one.
All right.
Cool. Anytime.
All right. Thank you very much for coming.
You.
You've been listening to In Time Sessions with Nathaniel Bawden on Islington Radio with Natalie Shay.
Yay.
Curled up in bed, it's the end. It was something unlikely. Wasn't scared and I was naive. I thought the sun rose in your eyes. I named my price. You were here, made a big sacrifice. Still unclear, it was something unlikely. Burning at both ends. 'Cause baby, when you call on my name, I feel something strange, 'cause I like you, boy. And baby, don't tell me it's the end. You were more than a friend, 'cause I like you, boy. Tornado wind under my skin. Why do I say things I don't mean? It was something unlikely, so just like me too. So I go and blow it again like I do. It's a trend, miss my face in your head, and I don't understand why I said what I said. I just lack confidence when I like a boy. 'Cause baby, when you call out my name, it fills me with shame, 'cause I like you, boy. So I let you get in my head, so you tear it to shreds, 'cause I like you, boy. Start, still broken, my heart self-preserved in the truth, with too much to lose. New get sick of me soon, huh? Could never love me at all. I always knew it wouldn't last, it couldn't last, it never should. You told me once that I was bad, took what I had and lusted good. But I never told my friends, 'cause I always knew the end would. You found me young when I was dumb. I saw the world in black and white. I needed you to shake me up, give tougher love, make me your wife. But I never took that chance. Distraction, blooded circumstance. And you don't get who I am, and you don't fit my plan. But carry me away when I can't think straight. Don't misunderstand, I needed a man to smother me and pity me this way. Together we could ruin me as play. I always knew that you and I, a point in time to scar me deep. My fear of failure and my pride with you combined put me to sleep. And courage in my shame, I loved you in the right way. And you don't get who I am, and you don't fit my plan. But carry me away when I can't think straight. Get me high, twist my hand, punish me best you can. When I'm giving up, escape a stressful day. Together we could ruin me as play. Into the fire, you changed me for the better. I can never tame that wild desire, and now I blame it on the weather. Feel me when you're low and miss my body, let me go.
You have been listening to In Time Sessions with Nathaniel Bawden on Islington Radio.